Okay, here we are in the tavern, ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're sort of taking advantage of the travel time between the encounter and Blasingdell. And the thing that we did at the beginning of the Sunless Citadel was every time, or every one of you had a chance to ask someone else a question about their character or their relationship or really anything to sort of flesh out the relationships between your characters and to give the folks at home a little bit more to latch on to and pack bond with. So I am going to go ahead and actually sort of step back and just observe this. I can direct traffic if you want, but I'm really interested to hear what questions you came up with. Last time I went Jen, Gail, Jeff, and M. But whatever order we start with, anyone who has a question of someone else, go ahead and ask. And that goes, by the way, for chat as well. We're keeping an eye on. So if you have a question for any of the characters, you are absolutely welcome and encouraged to put that into chat. And most of us are watching, so we'll be able to take a look at that as well. I'm shutting up. Who wants to start?
Olivia, you said that you had like only 30 questions.
Yeah, I've just, prepped a whole interview here. Yeah.
Travel thing of
Jen, would you be so kind as to mute yourself, please?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Thank you very much.
So I'll ask Calder a question. So seeing as Charlotte and Calder really only know each other through the vague reputations of their families, how does Calder feel about interacting with Charlotte, and is he worried about his family's particular reputation?
Calder is less concerned about his family reputation compared to his own reputation because of the specifics of it. I would think that Charlotte and Calder's family are. I like the idea that they are quietly the bitterest of enemies, but it's all very polite and genteel in that hyper political way. So they know nothing about like us actually interacting because they would definitely not approve.
Yeah. Does your family also do wine?
Yes, but Calder's like specific reputation among the other nobles is like a vague and tragic history involving the death of Calder's former fiance in a terrible magical accident. So he's more worried about like what Charlotte might think of him because he does not have a read on Charlotte at all. This is these last several days of them adventuring is probably the most they have ever spoken to each other.
Right, aside from just like being in the same room.
Yeah, and
this is out of function. And
frankly, like Calder is a little weirded out on how easy it is to talk to Charlotte. So,
okay,
yeah, that works.
Do you want to ask someone now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of go around that way. I think that the person who gets asked, I think, so long as we make sure we include everyone.
Okay. Here's an idea. Janice Clarion, what has, given that it's been a year since the Sunless Citadel, what is a good like tavern story that Clarion could have had in that year's interim that we would have heard about?
Oh, as in like Clarion would have heard about, or a tavern story or song that Clarion sings or tells.
I make no promises.
Like however you want to interpret the question. However you want to interpret the question.
Okay, well, Clarion would have songs that are going to be, there's going to be a couple humor songs. There's definitely going to be at least one traditional long form epic song that's going to be a little bit more poetical, a little bit very Odyssey to music kind of thing, so very like the Eddic Chronicles type thing. So but definitely a fair amount of humor songs as well. A few, probably at least one song that is meant to be one of those chronically type songs, but is meant to be a parody of one of those. Like, that would definitely be something that Clarion would love to work on. As to what people might have heard that Clarion would be hearing from them, as Clarion's performing, I really feel that the thing about stories, and especially stories that are told tavern style, is that they tend to grow. So by the time Clarion would hear a story back, so from the beginning of our year to the end of our year of rest, the stories told from both the humor stories and the chronicle are going to be absolutely like the worst game of telephone. It's going to be fantastic.
So in like specific stuff like and then like the story of the Sunless Citadel is told in such a way that like Meepo is suddenly a dragonborn that's like 5.5 feet tall.
Yes, like Meepo would be probably wind up in many ways as the central figure of the story, because people are going to be absolutely fascinated by the idea.
I'm going to step in and ask a quick bonus question while you've got your train of thought going, Jen. Because from a world building perspective, tell me, and I'm going to let you choose this. Your Clarion has composed songs, as you said, of the Sunless Citadel. So my question to you, and I'm going to let you decide this however you want, are Clarion songs A, well known around Faerun, and B, accepted as the canonical version of events, or was his work somehow overshadowed or taken out of context? How famous is your work, and how accurate is the current retelling?
Well, I think it depends on whether the person believes that Clarion was part of the group or not. Because Clarion telling the chronicle, the traditional chronicle style, would not say, yo, this is me. It would be the tale of the Sunless Citadel. But in less like very like traditional makeups of the songs and stuff, Clarion would 100% be like, that was fucking me. I'm fantastic. We're all fantastic. Like, I was the awesomest. You would definitely have like a comical song that was basically making fun of Hyacinth, like the rogue that keeps falling into traps and like stuff like that. So I think that it maybe half and half. I think that there's, among the people closer to the Sunless Citadel itself, the closer to the Sunless Citadel, the more that they actually like revere or believe in Clarion's tales. And further away, as we go out further, it becomes less reliable.
That makes sense, especially for
and
low
partly
level.
Because the telling changes, and partly because, they saw us ride into the Sunless Citadel, while like if you go out further, they're like, we don't know you from, that dude over there plowing.
Jeff, did you want to say something really quick?
I just had this idea that the chronicle of the story, like us, like the entire party gets kind of melded into one hyper awesome champion like character that is like, it is essentially is Meepo, but it's a dragonborn
totally
with
that.
with the fighting style of Hyacinth, the charisma of Clarion, the weird like breathes fire like the way Calder did, and has like the fighting prowess of Echo, and thus the story is about this great dragonborn champion tearing out tearing through this named Meepo, tearing through the Sunless Citadel and reclaiming the cherished awesome sword of
four
fallen
dragons, four kobold kind, dragonborn kind. Like, I could definitely see that happening. I could definitely see Clarion getting pissed off at some of the brutalizations and just sheer mutilization of his songs. Because they're going to become popular, and as they become popular, other bards are going to want to say that this was their song and stuff like that, and that would probably add to the fact that the idea that Clarion wasn't with them, and B, whether Clarion's telling of it has any merit.
Jen,
there's a lot of stuff.
Go ahead and ask a question of your own of another player character, please.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
If I could ask. So the first one I would like to ask is of Lore. And Lore, how do you feel being a parent?
Did you know that sleeping isn't a thing that people do when you're a parent?
Oh yeah, because I live there. That is my child as well.
Does it help that Lore's an elf and doesn't actually need to sleep?
Oh, I do.
I'm a half elf. I need more
that
sleep
away.
But I have a feeling part of what's happening here is that Lore and Clarion are like, oh, cool. We can skip some of the baby stuff.
Yes,
we're not particularly responsible people. None of us are.
So, Em, really quick, because I think that comment was lost. Remind us about the trade-off you made that makes it so that you do indeed have to sleep.
Oh, so last game I traded away the cool elf abilities to be immune to magical sleep, and enchantment and charm.
You're a very sleepy elf.
And the ability to reverie, which is basically get 8 hours of rest in 4 hours, in exchange to being able to cast Misty Step and Hunter's Mark.
Fantastic.
Innately as basically spell-like abilities, and then also I can use my spell slots for them. So that.
So how else is Lore reacting to being a parent?
She enjoys it as much as she can. She is newly married, but being in a relatively poly relationship, there's definitely it's a baby. Yeah. And it's the child itself is a half elf. Considering the parentage options are elf and half elf and human and half elf, so it's probably a half elf. And there's definitely stuff like, hi, I'm over 100 years old.
Well, no, technically, since Clarion's the father and Clarion is a half elf and you're full elf, doesn't that make that child 3/4 elf?
I think it defaults to half elf.
Unless Hyacinth is the carrier.
Oh, yeah, did we not? Oh,
we haven't specified.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Morikovich. Let's give him a call.
So I did have one more question. And that question was to Olivia as Charlotte. And that was, what's your opinion of the whole Clarion Lore Hyacinth thing? Since you obviously know Lore really well from wizard school, and then you wind up coming to the wedding of her and Hyacinth, and there's just this bard hanging out on the corners.
Didn't make it to the wedding.
Point of order, didn't make it to the wedding. Charlotte is insanely jealous.
Very sad.
Charlotte is insanely jealous of Lore. Not only did she get to marry her sweetheart, she also still gets to go adventuring even though she's married. What the fuck? Charlotte wants what Lore has.
I mean, it's half of the reason we snuck we snuck Charlotte out of her house, right? Basically, we pulled her along. Yeah. But there was definitely some let's drag this person along because they deserve to get out and live a little for once in a while.
Which is a little what Charlotte's doing here, is that she's avoiding the whole suitor situation by taking this opportunity and running with it. But yeah,
Oh,
she's really happy for Laura, but she's so jealous.
Find you a nice we'll find you a nice dwarf.
M, do you have a question for one of the other player characters?
I actually have a question for Olivia about
Perfect symmetry.
Laura and
Didn't even have
Charlotte's-
to ask. You all are amazing.
I mean, some of us have been thinking about questions for like 3 months, so whatever. The question that I have for you is, although you can't see the Pact Blade, how do you experience it?
So I would think after years of studying magic and being Lore's roommate, that Charlotte, she can definitely, it's not quite like taste and it's not quite like hearing, but she can almost sense it in the air when powerful magic is happening around her, just because she's so enthralled with magic in all of its forms and she wants to study it so much. And so I believe she's developed a sort of sixth sense at this point to sense powerful magic. And because she's so familiar with Lore, I think when Lore summons the sword, if Charlotte's close enough, she can tell by like either the incantations you're saying or the sound it makes when it pops into reality, or just the vague magical aura it puts out into the universe. So I think she's definitely keyed in, at least to Lore's casting, that she can sense when things are happening. And it definitely makes the hairs on the back of her neck stand up.
Nice.
Gail, it's on you at the moment, and I happen to know you have a million questions for everybody. Jeff, go ahead.
We actually have a good question in the chat.
Oh yes, go ahead. Where is it?
Gail Stronghammer asks, "Is Echo a bigger star, at least in Neverwinter?" As a fun detour to the conversation.
I actually have plans for Echo, so we're going to defer that. We're going to defer that question for the time being. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, Gail, give us another question. I know you've got a million of them.
Cool. Knocking it right back to Lore. So, how does Lore view the members of the party in light of them being so much younger than her? I mean, especially with Charlotte, that she kind of saw grow through her teen years. Like, is the age versus maturity thing something she thinks about, or no?
So I personally always see, or I've since I've read a specific book that I have referred to you guys before, I have seen elves as like cyclical in nature. So every couple decades of or whatnot, their personality may shift. And like they'll start losing aspects of like their previous personality and pick up new aspects. They might lose skills and pick up new skills. So the concept of Lore at her age now, which is like 110, 120-ish, which is relatively young for an adult elf, is the fact that this is basically her like second or third life, I say with quotation marks. So, you know, in a couple more decades, she's going to be an entirely different person. So looking at the party members now, she sees them as like they're on their first life, whereas, you know, by the time that they have passed, or most of them have passed, she'll remember them, and she'll remember herself, but she will remember herself as if it was a different person, because she's not that person anymore, if that makes sense.
That's real cool.
That's kind of how I exist in real life now that I'm thinking about it. A lot of the people that I was in the past definitely seem like other people, more asshole-ish people in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
Hedgie Cleric, Renee, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I have sent you an invite if you want to jump in. And in fact, there you are. I'm going to have to jump us over to my...
A 5.
Hi, friends.
Hello, is it Renee?
Is that a goblin head?
Not just a head, my dear. Not just a head.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
Echo!
Excellent. That's excellent.
I mean, it could be.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh. He's
I mean,
fixing it.
I have a question.
Okay.
Go in.
So I'm gonna ask this of Jeff.
Check.
for-
Okay,
for-
I'm working now. Keep going.
So you have seen your previous party members like fuck off to Neverwinter the circus and
Sure.
stuff. Get married collectively. And then you decided to live with a dragon. And also collect like 98% of the NPCs that we met. You know, gotta catch them all.
Everyone does.
They're basically Pokemon anyways. How do you feel about how that all went down? Like, does Calder feel like left out, or is he like, nah, I'm fine, I have my collection of NPCs, leave me alone?
Calder feels left out, but it's largely self-imposed. He maintains he's always kind of like he's always been a little withdrawn because he's the least normal out of everyone in the social circle, and that includes Echo, because like Echo exists in the world, exists in society, and so Calder is removed and then removed because he's from a very, very wealthy family, but is an outcast within that family. So like he's always maintained that level of distance, so he feels withdrawn from it, and it's a lot of he is intensely jealous and terrible at communicating it. Like the tagline I have under Calder is should seek therapy, is adventure.
I love it.
So that's more or less how he lives. So he feels like a great deal of love and admiration for his friends, and is happy that they're happy and are seeking their best happiness. But he intensely wants that and doesn't have it, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So he instead will internalize it until it becomes dark and bitter, and likely results in a casualty count in the mid 100,000s. So.
What's this to say about
Yikes.
Because that's what
happens.
That happens later down the development tree for spellcasters.
So what you're telling me, Jeff, is that he sees the rest of the party in the tavern, right? And he's standing outside of the tavern crying in the rain.
Oh Lord!
Listening to The Cure.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Calder is our emo boy.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he is definitely the emo child of the group, and that's fine.
Thing.
That's why he's so quick to adopt minions. I mean, like my children. I mean, pets. He wants that connection, but he doesn't know how to get it naturally. So he ends up just sort of pseudo adopting so many of the NPCs. Like Meepo is absolutely like low key going to become like, if he has his way, will become like his horrible dark champion. But he's not that far along the evil wizard track yet.
Yet.
Oh, that makes so much sense because Calder tried to adopt the other PCs.
Yeah, every single PC.
How do
the
friend
NPCs,
adopt?
yeah, but also the PCs too. Yes, that makes more sense.
I mean, and so like that's kind of where he is now with that's how he is with the old party, and like anything happens to Hyacinth, he will absolutely come running without or Echo will come running out without a moment's hesitation. But at the same time, like he looks at them and just goes, "I want you to be happy, and you are happy over there, and that's okay. That's okay."
Renee, first off, hi Renee.
Yes,
How you
Light.
doing? I'm glad you're
Today
here.
has been absolutely batshit, but I'm glad I'm here.
We are doing, as you know, same as we did at the beginning of Sunless Citadel. We're doing questions, Q&A of characters as we start off this module. Do you have any questions for any of our player characters since you are here?
That's a very good question. Has anybody been able to drink His Highness King Boulder Shoulders under the table yet? That's the best I got right now.
Well, we do know that Calder tried.
He is a Constitution main and a dwarf.
I know,
but I
it's gonna be hard to beat that.
I do have resistance to poison.
That's true, but so do dwarves.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to beat
Alright, so
that.
yeah.
It would be difficult.
I'm not Constitution main. I'm not Constitution main, but I'm no slouch either. So
Well, there you go.
that's probably where I was like, it was a noble battle. It was a foregone conclusion, but the effort was noble.
You tried.
So what I'd like to do at this point is I'm going to go ahead and transition us from talking about the characters to talking about the town of Blasingdale. Now, the thing about Blasingdale, and I'm actually going to switch over to this for a second so that folks can actually see me. In fact, even better. Hi, friends. The city, or the town of Blasingdale, is a mining town. It's one of those, like, way off the beaten tracks, because that's where the ore is kind of towns, where they had to build a town there because it was way more efficient than trying to cart supplies back and forth as far as it would take. So you're talking about a place that is kind of the ass end of nowhere, where everyone kind of knows each other, but, and this is key, it is a very diverse town. Think like the old company towns in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, except with moderately less worker abuse. Moderately less.
Well, we are in a fantasy setting, so.
So that's what we know so far. I have some names of some NPCs here. I have decided that the sheriff is a Warforged because I love Warforged. But beyond that, we are kind of going to build this town together based on what we've got. Okay? So what I'm going to do, and of course Renee will be here as well as myself to play whatever NPCs you may find yourself interacting with. You make your way to the town of Blasingdale. Now, somebody tell me, and you can tell me either out loud or anyone can or whatever, how long have you been traveling at the time that you get to Blasingdale? We didn't establish how long it would take to get there, and I'd like one of you to do that.
Oh, gosh.
Since the bees or since we left Adbar?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The total journey since you left the Citadel.
5 days.
Yeah, 5
I
sounds
I
good.
was feeling like 6, so yeah, 5 or 6 sounds good.
Maybe we hurried after the bees.
Yeah, I imagine after the
Yeah,
bees.
perfect answer. Like, 6-day journey, we hit bees, and we're like, yeah, no.
No,
Civilization,
we're not camping again.
About
Yeah.
half a week.
We want to go to where there's beds and medicine.
With that in mind, and mechanically it's not going to matter, but we'll say that you make it to Blasingdale like having pushed through the night. Yeah? So we'll say that dawn is just breaking as you get to Blasingdale. You will all start with 1 level of exhaustion, but of course that's not going to be a mechanical thing because you will get a long rest before anything on that front. But just to give you an idea of the shape that you're in when you walk into the town, just as all of them are getting up, and in fact, from far away as you are making your way there, as the sun peaks up, you hear a loud, ear-splitting whistle. Coming from the town.
Demir's tits, what is that noise?
It's awful.
How are you greeted as you enter? Go ahead,
I will,
Jeff.
If it's with the horrible noise, I will look at at my side, shake it a bit to make sure it's not it, and move on.
It's not. So what's when you get there?
Swoops is like 60 feet overhead, just keeping a watch for bees. But other than that, he probably won't interact with the townsfolk very much until I call him down.
No problem. And a bat out in daylight would be a little bit weird.
But it's dusk.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
dawn.
One of those two. They're basically the same thing. No one can really tell the difference. So you get to Blasingdale. It's not like a fortified town. This is not a highly defensible place. So there isn't a town wall or anything. I don't have a picture or any such thing. So tell me, how many people, and someone can go ahead and shout this out, how many people are out and about? We just said the work bell basically started. How crowded is it in this town?
Do we
Probably
have
at least
a
I wanna
population of
see.
the town?
I'm sorry,
Actually,
Em, what was that?
Do we have a population number for the town?
The town is, hold on, I will double check that because I do have it. It says the town's population is 2,000. So it's basically just miners and the people who need to stay here in order to supply the miners. So shopkeepers and smiths and stuff like that.
Then I kind of want to say like moderately, but it's all very like trudging toward the same direction.
Yeah, like 20 or 50 are probably either getting off the night shift or just waking up for the morning shift as far as like making food and stuff goes or keeping watch.
Is it
It
really
also-
bad that in my head I'm imagining a weird cross between Janestown from Firefly and like Metropolis? Like that kind of
I think it's
trudging,
smaller.
like with more greenery, but definitely muddy.
Yeah, these definitely don't
Yeah, I'm
seem
definitely
like...
getting a brown feel.
Yeah, definitely a dusty sort of brown feeling is about right. You're in the foothills, and the forest gets thicker to the north as you go, which is the way you know you're eventually supposed to go. So yeah, that makes sense. Most people, I mean, there are people open for business, but most of the businesses are like preparing for what they're probably going to do business-wise in the evening. Right? There's not a whole lot of business that goes through day to day. So yeah, as you're there are a whole bunch of people in the town, but they're all sort of shuffling their way towards the mine as you go. So what do you do as you enter the town?
I hit the ground with my cane to see if there's like, are there paved roads here? Or is it just more packed dirt?
You know, it's
How
going to be...
civilized are we?
I'm going to go ahead and say that because they are going to be wheeling ore around, it's probably a flat paved road for practicality's sake, if nothing else.
Oh, thank God we've made
Yeah.
it to civilization again.
There are bee puns happening all over the place in the chat, by the way.
I imagine it smells very minerally, like
Or at
it's
least
gonna
one.
smell like, I don't know if you've ever been near like a strip mine, but it's
gotta be
gotta
rock
Quarry.
mine.
like
Yeah,
it
that-
really does. And like add to that like the smell of like what you imagine your medieval town smells like. It's probably not good.
Like that very rustic mixture of rock dust and horse offal.
How many horses
Not
are
just
there?
horses. Not just horses.
This is not a one-horse town, as it were, but yeah, there's a stable that has some animals in it as you're going through. Like unless you're making a clean count, I'm not going to give you an exact number, but yeah, there's definitely like
Yeah.
there's
It's a working
there's also
town.
space for your animals to be stabled as well.
You gotta have
Oh
beasts of
look,
burden.
a stable. A thing I will lean over to my mule. I will stop bothering you in the very near future.
Yes,
I lean
indeed.
over to Lore.
Calder's
Do they
had probably a
own-
very contentious relationship with his mule ever since he left.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because it refused to be
Yeah.
a shield for you. Yes.
Yes.
Lore, is there any place open that would be selling breakfast or coffee? God, I would kill for coffee right now.
That's actually a thing that can we send out like a bakery, because I'm assuming there's probably, if it's a company town, some form of place where you can like go buy your lunch ahead of time.
I think
know
Renee is
what
going
I
to be our local diner / greasy spoon proprietor. So
Straight up
yes,
bakery.
there will definitely be like Because again, I mean,
There's
I used to work at
cafeteria.
I used to work graveyard at Denny's, and I'll tell you, you know, there's definitely the folks who work at 6 a.m. are in there at 5 a.m. every single day like clockwork. So yeah, there's definitely a place where you can go to get a very, very hearty meal very quickly, as well as some preserved food to take to work as you are requesting. So that'll be probably the first place you go. There are, we'll say that the last few folks who maybe woke up a little bit late are still hovering over their coffee and their eggs, but most folks have moved on, so the place is mostly empty. What do you do?
Okay.
We'll head there.
Hey, chat, you want to name this place, please? I'm
We
gonna
have
say,
X'd up all of Faerun.
yeah.
Oh, with all the bee, I'm picturing a bee-themed place
I
now.
don't want a bee theme. I would like to veto bee theme.
The Hungry
Oh.
Hive,
I'm
But
gonna-
the honeys. Honey's place.
Honey Buns.
No.
Oh gosh.
So
No.
while chat is thinking about what this place
The
should be
Hornet's
named,
Nest.
Goats Camus says the Hungry Hornet, which is indeed exactly what was happening last game. It was a very, very hungry hornet.
R.I.P. Eric Carl.
I have a great idea for a board game. Anyway,
Anyway, so I suppose first order of business is secure lodging, secure supplies, and ask around. So
Renee,
I honestly think the first order of business is coffee.
Garça, your finest brew.
Renee, a very bedraggled and clearly exhausted group walks through the front. You get these from time to time, but not often. These folks have clearly...
sweet honey child. Come, sit down. Relax your feet. You got lucky. The breakfast lunch ain't hit yet. Have a seat. I'll set you up good and proper. What you want for drink, darling?
do you have coffee here?
You're looking specifically for the pick-me-up, correct?
If I put a horseshoe in it, does it stand up on end?
The specialty of the house does.
What type of coffee do you drink, Calder, honestly?
Can I have
Well,
the
I-
blackest
don't you?
black tea you
I'm
can manage?
I'm a tiefling.
One
I
of
have
the
it strong.
one of the
I
one
can
of
throw
the
this at you when I'm done with it.
one of the patrons looks up and says, "That horseshoe wouldn't survive that coffee. You're in good hands. It wouldn't stand up because it would dissolve."
Specialty of the house. Let's start out here.
Then 4, please, and whatever these guys want.
And something to make it a little bit more palatable. 1 second. Oh, come on.
Golden meat I really like. Nathaniel.
I'm kind of here for the
There we
kindness
go.
bowl.
Chitinous bowl. If
There we
the
go. That ought to set
Well,
you
this
up
is
good.
a mining town, so it
Llama?
actually would probably be like a mining ton or something like that. Like the oh,
I don't know.
what are they called? Like
we'll keep
what
thinking.
are they called?
The
The vein,
specialty.
like the silver vein or something like that, or like the
There are two. There are two. They're in vicious competition with each other.
yeah. Oh god.
In character.
Go across the street first.
I will take the
Thank you.
greasiest egg, bacon, whatever meat combo you have, please.
Goblin King it is. I'll be right back.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
I'll lean over to Clarion as I'm sipping my coffee. So, is this place like a tavern and a restaurant, or just a restaurant?
I'm gonna,
Is it okay?
I'm gonna let
So
you
am I
decide that.
basically okay? Well, it looks like it might be a tavern at night, but it's definitely a restaurant by day. Like this is
Yeah, we'll say there are some
this
rooms.
is where people are eating.
Yeah, we'll say there are some rooms up on the second floor. particularly for folks who maybe live really far away and need a place to crash for work the next day?
They could just crash on the floor of the tavern.
Well, it depends on
cheaper
how much
usually.
money they spend. If there's
Here's a little
rooms.
something for the fella on the suite in the second floor. There we go. Oh,
There's suites. Although, I wonder what they call a suite in this town.
it has a bed.
By the way, one of the patrons says to the proprietor,
Yeah.
Mark didn't make it, I'm
There's
afraid.
way too much dust on this road.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Poor baby.
Yeah, the
He
wounds-
just start-
the wounds got him.
He just started too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a downright shame.
God, I fucking hate orcs.
Orcs?
Don't we all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Laura's
you hate
gonna
orcs
like
too, don't you, Wibble? Oh, don't you, Wibble? Sweet baby.
Laura's
Don't
gonna
Wibble,
like
this comforts her. Otherwise, she turns into a big toothy mess, and your ankles are in danger.
Laura's gonna like lean over towards the guy who was talking about orcs. What's this about orcs though?
They've just been a lot lately. There've been a lot of them lately. I mean, out here, we always get orcs and shit attacking us, right? That's part of the job. We get that. It's just there've been a lot lately.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah, we get folks foraging for food or starting to encounter them, and they've even some of them have gotten bold enough to start stealing some of our supplies from this very town at night. It's been a pain in the ass. The mayor's paying, actually. The mayor has declared a flat 25 gold bounty on any orcs that are killed.
Each
Now-
or like as a whole?
Each
I-
orc.
I may be encouraging some of the populace with the Orcs Blood Special.
I'll try one of those.
I don't know what we'd
Okay.
do without you.
All right. Well,
Wait, does it actually have orc's blood in it?
no, but it tastes quite a bit like it.
And with this one, you got to ask that question. You are a very, very smart person.
Yeah.
Calder will
The one
turn
that
over the
asked about-
first of his
the one
four
that asked
mugs
about
and
the
go
orcs
more in a
this?
second.
Hold on, I got
Not make that distinction. And well, let's just say he got way more than he bargained for.
Oh.
I mean it.
Yeah, if you want to talk more, you can always talk to him. He'll tell you, but he'll just say the same thing as I am. He wants you to take their right hand to prove that you killed him. Bring him back. He'll pay 25 gold a hand.
What's the mayor's name?
What's the mayor's name? I have a name here, obviously, which I could use if I wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Sir Barrick.
The mayor I have here is Sir Miles Berwick. Sir Miles Berwick. And in fact, now that I've heard the name Sir Miles Berwick, I've decided the accent that he will be using.
And I have a feeling he is as insufferable as his accent implies.
Probably, although I don't know. We'll
said
see.
he's actually super nice.
Yeah, I was about to say, we'll see. We haven't gotten there yet.
Hey, you get down from there.
Thank you. That
Flying
was
rat thing yours?
So what do orcs want with the
Swoops,
mining
over
town?
Orcs just like killing and taking. If I had to guess, I'd say there's a bunch of them holed up somewhere and they're trying to get supplies. But I mean, what the hell are we gonna do? We got work to do.
I mean, this is the last town for a good distance to the north, right?
This is the last town for a good distance in any direction.
And not only that, I had to move the entire larder inside. Otherwise, it would just get bust open. Like, we used to have that problem with grizzly bears. But this is way worse. Because he's
Yeah.
gonna pick rocks.
And the rains are coming too. We gotta patch up that back larder really fast before the rains get here.
Yep. I mean, it's not like there's anything in it right now, but better that than, well, I don't want to think about it.
And I'll wait until she like goes to get somebody else a drink and turn to the, or like kind of lean in a little bit more to the party and be like, so we're here when there's going to be horrible storms and there's giant bears and there's vicious orcs.
Sounds like our luck.
Do you think the orcs are up at the forge? Do you think that's where they're held up?
I mean, we could check with the mayor to see like a general direction.
Most information we can get is going to be helpful, but I find it
First, pick me up with the day.
interesting that they're having such an orc problem, because in my experience, orcs, while they are definitely here for mayhem, are going to have a reason to be here. So yeah, they're stealing stuff and killing people, but what brought them here to begin with? What brought them here?
That's why I'm thinking the forge.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking.
If they're the ones that,
I mean, it
that
could just
relit
be
it.
that they live in the hill. They could just live in the hills and need supplies.
Are you all
They might
talking
put-
about? Are you all talking about the smoke that started coming up off of the mountain out there?
Oh boy.
Smoke coming off of what mountain?
Say what?
Y'all
Yeah.
wanna refill?
Please, yeah. I think my shift manager's gonna be pissed if I don't take off pretty soon. But yeah. There's just it looks like some kind of. It's hard to see exactly, but somewhere over the next hill there's some kind of smoke. It's been there for the past couple of weeks. It could be an orc camp, but if you're saying something about a forge, I don't know.
There we go.
Isn't it just a
This
mountain up there?
Just enough
Oh,
to
it's
set off the reaction. Here you go, darling.
Have any other adventurers come through here?
No, haven't seen anyone like you in some time.
And you're sure it's a mountain, not like a volcano that might start smoking?
Oh, no. The mountain that's back there is definitely not a volcano. It's called the Stone Tooth because I don't know. I mean, it looks an awful lot like, I mean, very creative naming is what I'm saying. But no, it's not, I mean, it's not volcanic. I don't think it's volcanic. I hope it's not volcanic.
Me too. That
Well,
would be bad.
How about this? We'll check it. We'll check it out. And if the world violently explodes, it's a volcano.
Should
I mean-
we be worried?
I don't think
You're
so.
the ones who have
It
been
could just
mining
be a
here.
mine fire.
I am tired. I haven't slept, and I'm sarcastic, so I apologize.
Then you definitely get a refill.
Yes, but I ordered 4, so all 4 refilled, please.
Of course.
So Calder's still drinking a horrifyingly high quantity of coffee.
Gonna pee so bad later.
Just don't piss around in the larder. That's all I ask. Just don't.
I think I got to get to my shift, folks. But he puts a coin down on.
What's your name?
He puts a coin down on the. How dare you ask me a name to make up a name just as I'm about to get rid of this NPC? You dare.
We always dare.
Yes, right.
My name is Bucky.
What's up, Bucky?
Bucky O'Hannigan.
Bucky O'Hannigan.
I don't know why he's an Irish human.
Oh, it's
I
'cause he's
guess.
half dwarf.
Don't forget
obviously.
your change.
Thanks. And he sort of waves and shoulders his pack and heads off. Hi ho, hi ho.
All right. Now that words are returning, ma'am, where does one
Call me honey.
When? Thank you, honey. When do we? How do we secure lodging? Is there a dedicated inn?
That's going to be just a couple buildings down that way. We're kind of booked up, and we're usually for super short stay, and it sounds like y'all might be here a little while. So,
And is there a person that would be willing to trade a mule, or barring that, a butcher? I will say, glaring outside.
what's the meat like on it?
Kicking.
Unpunctured.
Okay, let me explain, because he just doesn't like his mule. His mule did this sensible thing and ran away at a bunch of giant wasps, and he's still salty about it. So this mule doesn't need to become, unmuled. This mule just needs to get away from Calder.
I'm going to step in and say that the barkeep, Honey, has in fact heard that a nest of giant wasps is out there somewhere and was pestering people. So it's excellent news. Or not excellent news, because they didn't actually say that they killed the wasps, did they? So you
Just
yeah.
ran into them.
Said giant wasp.
Also, we just killed a bunch of them. We didn't do anything about a hive or anything like that.
Well, at least you tried.
All right, but if there's a place that I can get a proper horse, I would like to take advantage of that.
Proper
Why didn't you
horse
bring one from home?
might-
I mean, they should have a
Proper
bunch of
horse
cart
might
horses here.
be a little shy, especially for a fancy type like you. But we got a couple good working horses who are down closer to the mine, but I don't think they'll be parted with. You might need to.
I have
You might need to flutter them eyelashes a little bit at the foreman too. Not them, you. She said, pointing at Calder.
So
I
quick,
will
quick
smile
out-of-character note.
dashingly. I can be quite charming.
So quick out of character note, the likelihood is that the mine probably uses mules, not horses.
Yes.
I'm willing to say that they have a couple of good riding horses available for trade or for trader sale. That's sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be for the mine, it would be for the carts that carry the stuff out away and from the mine.
Yeah.
Well, even that would probably be mules, because mules are a better temperament and easier to handle. They would have probably maybe like
the mayor might have a horse.
Mules are a better temperament than horses.
or doing that kind of work. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get a war
I
horse.
wonder-
Yeah.
No, I don't want a war horse. I just want either a draft horse or a proper riding horse.
A draft
Exactly.
horse you could probably get.
Renee.
Draft horse for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if I was your mule and I got accosted by giant wasps, I'd be probably pretty pissed off too.
Cool.
So maybe you should be a little bit nicer.
I didn't say I didn't understand it. I didn't say I didn't
Calder,
understand
you ran away
it.
from the wasps. Why didn't you think
I did. No such
You ran away. You definitely ran away. You ran. Not only did you run away, but you ran away and you hid behind another living being
That's
that
mighty
also had a little bit of a brain.
That's
I like
mighty
it.
fine talk to say to
What's
someone
your
who
name,
killed
darling?
most of the wasps.
Let's be honest, my horse, my mule, Prettyfoot, didn't run away till she was raised back from the dead with a giant hole in her. So
That the wasps put into her.
I'd like to think that during this whole diatribe about the mule, Swoops has been going around to everyone's coffee cup and taking drinks.
At a increasing speed. Like faster and then faster and then faster.
By the time we leave, we're going to have like pretty like
Excuse me.
Swoop is
should-
going to be having
should
like,
the little one get his own
butterfly
cup?
wings.
Oh no, he likes to share.
Okay then.
the
I'll take your
poor
word for it.
Shall we? Do
I
we
didn't
have?
say I didn't. I didn't say I didn't understand. I said I don't care, and I want to get rid of that damn thing.
Shall we
I mean,
move?
if you're gonna get rid of the mule, then you might as well get rid of yourself a little bit. If you ran away too.
I didn't run away. I killed most of them.
from a safe distance. Yeah, we know.
Bless your heart.
So,
All right, are we gonna go
That's-
flirt with
again,
the foreman
mighty
or
fine-
what? Let's go.
Again, mighty strong words for people in spell range. Moving on.
All of us are in spell range of all of us, so yeah.
Aaron, I love you.
And this is
I'm
about
too
where
tired-
the time
I'm
where
too
Honey
tired to be
puts
civil about this, babe.
and this is about the time where Honey puts a glass of pork piss in front of Calder on the house.
Gently pushes it away and stands up. I'm going to go sell my
Clarion
stupid
reaches over, grabs it, slams it, throws it back down. This conversation's not over, but all right.
It tastes
I'm
like
gonna-
pineapple.
Oh God.
It tastes like pineapple.
Oh.
Which is a very
Tastes
strange
incredible,
taste.
but okay. That's the breakfast of champions.
Shall we move on to the next thing? After the diner, where are you heading? What are
They're
you
gonna be
doing?
paying their tab, right?
After they pay
Yes.
their tab, yes.
Good.
Uh,
Honey is vicious.
I will go and get rid of my mule and buy whatever horse that the draft horse that I apparently have, because it's apparently fucking huge.
Yes, horses are large sized. Yeah. You'll pick you'll be able to. It's not going to be a straight across trade. What kind of gold do you have at the moment? I'm checking as well.
I critically, I already like.
Oh, that's
spent
right.
the cash from my inventory to buy a horse.
That's right. This was a thing that you did in between games that you set up. So yes, you go out, you wheel and deal, or some coin exchanges hands, and you find yourself a good solid riding horse instead of the mule, which is going to go upstate to a farm where it is going to live out the rest of its days free in an open field with the rest of the mules who don't serve as human shields.
And not at
With
all,
no murder hornets.
and not at all going to be served as meat to a local diner.
Or adhering objects together. No, none of those things.
That we know of.
What are other folks doing while Calder is off securing a new mount?
I'm gonna go upgrade my armor.
Phenomenal. You'll go ahead and make your way to... Now, the smithy actually does have a lot of really high quality, excellent armor sort of as display pieces mostly. There isn't a whole lot of call for armor here, but having armor on display in order to, to show people what the metal can be like is excellent. So you do indeed find a set of, I believe it's half plate you're looking for, yes?
Half plate is what I was looking for.
That is close enough to your size to where with a few hours of work they will be able to set it to your actual measurements and make sure that it doesn't slip or chafe or anything like that.
Because we talked about this ahead of time, I'm assuming that there was like a letter of marque that went ahead, and the breastplate that I'm wearing is the last bit of the payment.
Absolutely, yeah. That makes perfect sense to me. And yes,
So
Nathaniel,
when it's not being fitted, we will do the final trade.
Nathaniel, we do live in a society where the barkeeps are paid a living wage, so tips are not necessary unless desired.
Yeah, it's like 1 gold a month, right?
Yeah, you have to live in
Nate,
some sort of dystopian hellscape where the proprietors or the customers are expected to pay the living wages of the employees. That's absurd.
I know it's a silly, but this is a high fantasy, so we can indulge in these kinds of nonsensical ideas.
Are we going to indulge in the name of the blacksmith and his parents, as asked by Nathaniel?
Nathaniel wants to know the name of the blacksmith and the parents, and since Em is the one actually doing this part, I'm going to make them answer this question.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I am
actually
passing
have
the buck.
A handful of names
Have
that
this
I was
buck.
prepped and ready to go, but it closed on me.
I mean, their last names can all be Smith, right?
Oh, it's definitely a Smith, right?
That would have to be a Smith, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Smith
do you want
Smithson?
the name of the blacksmith themselves? Or do you want like the name of the blacksmith shop?
Smithy makes Smith face. Let's be real.
Nate was specifically looking for the name of the smith and their parent or their father.
Okay, their parents. So we're gonna call the smith. Let's see, Aaron.
Aaron, with 2 A's or with an E?
No, Aeryn.
Excellent. The worst spelling of Aaron.
You're welcome.
Although I
Wait,
like
Smithson.
Lionor's idea, Bob Smithson, son of Smith
Son of
Bobson.
Smith Bobson.
I apologize. I
There is-
apologize.
that is A++, Lionor.
I apologize to any errands spelled that way that are watching that I just offended.
Oh, you don't.
Aaron.
Anyway, with that little bit of nonsense lore,
Aaron Smith, the blacksmith.
Aaron Smith, the blacksmith, is going to be helping Lore out with that. So we've got Calder getting a mount, we've got Lore getting some armor. What is I think I'm going to save Clarion for last. What's Charlotte doing in the town as these folks are off doing their stuff?
Charlotte wants to know if there's any sort of books or scribes or cartographers. There's got to be accountants here. I'm looking for the brainy section of town if there is a bookshop.
I'm actually going to let you tell, or I'm going to let you tell me, Olivia. This is kind of a business-like town, but there might be some folks that are smart. What do you think? What do you think you find?
Well, I think there's definitely an accountant/bookkeeper area of the town. There needs
Definitely.
to be for an operation this big. And so I think maybe in the office of the companies or whatever runs this town's bookkeepers, accountants, that sort of thing, there is also like that's the highest collection of books in the town, and it functions kind of like a pseudo library for the town.
You'll probably be directed toward the mayor's office and house. Like the books would probably be contained there. But notably,
in the office part of town.
Yeah, and then notably, there are definitely people whose job it is to map the mines, right? Like that's kind of an important job. So there will definitely be people who are capable of drawing maps and that sort of thing. Yeah, that's not a problem. So you are going in search of knowledge. What are you looking for specifically?
A cartographer for hire that we could hire to make a map, and then what they would need information-wise to make a map of an area. Like what information would I need to provide to them for them to be able to translate it into a map?
Well, so first off, yes, you will be able to find a cartographer for hire. We'll say they will go ahead and be 1 gold per day, with an extra 1 gold bonus if any combat happens.
Oh, they're gonna come with like a surveyor?
If they come with you, yes. Well, that's the problem is when you start mentioning it, they say yes. Well, the difficulty is that is exactly what we would need. We would need a surveyor, yes, because simply a verbal description of what the area looks like is not going to be sufficient for us to make an accurate map. Perhaps if you were able to get a look from above, and at least I could make if you could somehow get a look from above, I might be able to at least make a sketch of the area. But I am afraid I would need to be there physically myself in order to make anything more accurate than that. Or at least in the general vicinity so that I could look around myself. I need to know where things are relative and size-wise. And so he starts going off talking about math.
Yeah. I kind of just let him talk for a little bit, and then I cut in with the thank you for the explanation of your rates. I will let you know as of tomorrow whether or not we'll be needing your services. And I'll head back to whatever tavern we were pointed to meet up with everyone.
So, while that is happening, Clarion, what are you up to while these three are off taking care of their various errands?
Clarion would first probably be heading towards the store marketplace area to refresh our supplies, to make sure that we have our rations and basically any supplies we may have used along the way. This is really early in the morning.
It is, and it's almost deserted at this point, right? Like the only people that are still in town are the folks who are business proprietors. Everyone else has gone to work at this point.
So Clarion would probably be asking some of these storekeepers, a little bit more questions about what they think about the smoke that's coming out of the mountain, and the orcs and stuff, just kind of trying to be as tactful as Clarion ever can manage. You know,
I will say
Clarion isn't particularly tactful, but he's got great charisma.
Yeah, and I'm not requiring rolls for this part of the game. So we'll say, we'll say that you get a few pieces of information when you're trying to suss out what's going on up there. Not a whole lot of people actually go north because partly of the orc problem, but you know that the forest gets very dense up there. You know that nobody thinks the Stone Tooth is a volcano. Like, it's not big enough. Nobody is thinking that that's the answer here. Although more people do begin to get a little bit vaguely worried if you specifically bring up the possibility. They're like, wait, do you think that might be a thing? So you might, it's not going to be a panic or anything. But so the other thing you get, let's see, what else? You know that they will tell you that there is a lake in the area that doesn't go stagnant like a lot of the surrounding mire does, and that there is they definitely confirm the existence of smoke rising in the area, but unfortunately they can't really give anything else other than a mild curiosity of, well, it's not the forest burning down or else there'd be a lot more smoke.
Do any of them can say like how long it's been happening?
They first started noticing it probably, it's you don't get anything really specific, anything from a few weeks to maybe a month or two ago that they started noticing it.
Okay. So, but that's not terrible. I mean, that's about the information I would expect out of local shopkeepers.
Basically, yeah.
But that does give me a little bit more, kind of, from several people, an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so now the question is, do any of them go, are you a bard? Because, Clarion is decked out with, like,
he has a big
his
sign on
armor,
his back with his bard.
like, fancy in a bardic way. And
I'm
not
expecting
as, like,
a button on Clarion's shirt that says, "Ask me about being a bard."
and my special rates on music.
You actually, I'm gonna say that even if you're kind of sort of hinting, it's still early enough to where the business owners that you're interacting with look almost as tired as you are, and as such tend to be businesslike and don't inquire on their own. No.
Yeah.
This is
no, it's too early to play.
Booty shorts with musical on the butt.
Right now, I have the feeling that, like, we're gonna do well to, like, have, like, a rest day. But yeah, if we're here any longer than that, like, since that restaurant / tavern becomes more of a pub like at night, there's definitely gonna be Clarion's usual response to a pub.
I will give one more piece of information, and that is that there aren't any roads that go up north.
That's very useful.
Yeah, this is the end of the line when it comes to roads and such. You're going to be navigating forest going north.
Oh joy, more trees.
Gail's given them some silver. How many times have we had?
3 total. This
3 so far. Excellent. Just checking in.
What would I
spend
spend doing that? What I just did?
If you want to, I don't remember what things cost, but if you want to buy any mundane supplies, you can buy them for the prices listed in the Dungeon Master Guide, and I'm not going to micromanage you on that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, nothing.
Okay.
What's Meepo doing is my question.
Meepo is avoiding the sunlight. Meepo stays inside when the sun comes up, and looks distinctly uncomfortable outside. Now he has trained in the sunlight and he knows how to handle it. But no, he tends to find a shady spot and stay in that during the daytime.
We need to get
We
him a
need to get
parasol.
Nepo some freaking sunglasses.
There's the
needs to
picture.
be-
There's the picture right there.
I need to
Clarion and
find an
Nepo.
artificer to make him sunglasses.
That's the other half of the Blues Brothers joke. You and Meepo. I think that's it right there.
Oh no, I'm it's definitely gonna be a what we do when mom's not home joke.
So that is so you all complete your various errands successfully, I might add, and I imagine you all come back together somewhere. What comes next?
Well, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to disperse the supplies, among us and our packs, and tell them about the lake and what the, what everybody, like, hey, there's, this is what I heard from the different shopkeepers as I was doing, I'm pulling stuff out. So there's a lake that is, you said north of here, right?
Yeah, all of this is north of here. By the way, thank you for following Ginger Micah. I appreciate you, or Mika.
So there's a lake north of here that doesn't foul. It stays clear instead of going stagnant. There are no roads where we're going.
Oh, good.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, we weren't anticipating roads in the first place.
No, we really weren't, but I was hoping that there would at least be like a deer track or something. But all right, fine, whatever.
Probably gonna be warp track.
And well, there's not really much else they could say, and what they said was relatively the same as what our illustrious waitress told us.
We can hire a surveyor.
Ooh,
I found out the rates.
that would how much do we have as like prorate per diem from how much do you think? Because do we have enough to hire
The rate is per day, so I think we should scout it out first and then see if it's worth hiring the surveyor to make a map. I think we should definitely not waste the surveyor's time with our first outing,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
especially if it's on our dime.
I'm not worried about the price of a surveyor. In fact, having a map of the area is part of our work here. We absolutely should.
See, my concern is that with our luck, especially mine, our first outing will be our only outing because we won't be coming back till it's done. So I vote also surveyor goes with, but make sure the surveyor knows this could be really dangerous.
Oh yeah, there's more to the rate if it's dangerous.
Of course.
Very well.
Hazard pay.
And that's fine. We will do our best to protect them.
Oh, by the way, out of curiosity, because I forgot to ask at the beginning, and I've been meaning to, Clarion, is Clarion walking into a mining town with a whole ass skeleton walking next to him?
Oh shit! Yeah.
This is kind of a thing I should have said at the very beginning.
I forgot about our
Let's go ahead and say just so that to avoid a bunch of retcon, we should probably say that Jarvis was left outside only because the reaction and your welcome would have been very, very, very different if you had walked in with one of the horrible undead walking next to you. Gail, what's up?
But
Well,
even
if
Hold on,
wearing
Gail,
a
Gail,
really
Gail.
nice outfit,
Gail, what's up?
it's not like he's dirty and smelly.
Jen, 1 second.
I have a trick when I'm playing Necromancer, especially if I'm lugging around skeletons, because skeletons take up a whole lot less mass than a normal body. You fold them up in your backpack when you don't need them.
Oh my god!
What the shit is this? IKEA
What you're
undead?
saying is Jarvis is literally like a suitcase. Oh, I need to get a suitcase for Jarvis.
Right? Like, he can fold up. He's not worried about ligaments and muscles and getting in the way.
Like,
It's a bunch of
we can
bones.
literally just put a bag in front of him and say, as an order,
Get
get in
in.
the suitcase.
I mean, I thought that we would just have him standing there holding the reins for the 2 mules, just chilling, just like on the
Yeah,
edge
that's
of
what
the-
I figured is
between
that
the
he
2
would stay
mules,
with.
like I'm supposed to stand here.
The animals never got used to having a goddamn undead monster around.
That's their problem,
The mules
isn't
will
it?
be shying away very violently from the skeleton that is animated by horrible, foul necromantic magic.
But he's
Okay,
not even stately.
Clarification. The mules are attached to a tree. The skeleton is also attached to the tree by a separate reins. He has been told to stand here and hold these, which are attached to the tree, and that's his job.
I will remember the skeleton more readily next time. That was my mistake. We should have dealt with that at the very beginning.
I forgot about Jarvis too. I got so distracted, and
I mean,
that's
it took us-
probably a thing that happens.
So
It took us about an hour and a half to remember Meepo existed, so figure that shit out.
Yeah, but
Oi.
Meepo doesn't cause
I
people to go.
remembered.
yes, Meepo is built to be a character who's just kind of underfoot and not volunteering a ton, which is why I made him like that. So we've gotten all of your shopping done, I think. We've gotten some reasonably good information. We've gotten some rates, and we're currently deciding whether or not to bring the cartographer on the first go-round. Meepo will actually say something along the lines of, if we bring civilian, maybe we find a way to protect and hide them instead of bringing them into perhaps mortal danger with
Yeah,
us.
we don't know how dangerous the road up, or the not a road up there is.
We could set
You don't even
Jarvis
know.
to protect him.
Meepo actually nods to that, says, Jarvis could protect, but think about, they make camp while we go. Remember Barnabas.
I remember Barnabas, but I also remember what happened when Barnabas made camp and we went. Barnabas became corrupted.
That's what
so
Meepo
I'd
means.
rather keep him with.
Yeah, that's what Meepo's saying.
But also, we would not want to bring civilian in to fight giant spiders, to fight goblin hordes, to fight magic stick monsters.
I really think
So
we need
you're
to
saying
find.
So,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I think we need to find the place first before we begin thinking about mapping the route there. It might take us a while just to find it.
Well, then I think then we should take the cartographer to do the finding map, and then do what you suggest. Have the cartographer stay with the mules. Have Jarvis maybe protect, and then we go on ahead. But if we have to come all the way back here just for a cartographer, I guarantee you, I will bet you money, not a lot of money, but I will bet you money that we won't make it back for that cartographer.
Well, then we shouldn't be bringing them in the first place, because we're just bringing them on a suicide mission.
I didn't say that we were gonna die. I was just saying it was
What
gonna
other-
get a little dicey.
What other...
We are. I think we should bring the cartographer because a map of the area will be useful to someone regardless of the circumstances. At the end of the day, it will not be a waste of the cartographer's time and energy to map out the region north of the city. That is,
Cartographers are
it'll
used
still
to
be of
going
use
into
to something.
areas.
I will also step in as a GM and mention one other thing, that theoretically Clarion can make a second undead to help protect as well. The whistle allows for animation and control of up to 2 at a time. So that is a possibility.
If we want to go a little sideways, we could kill the cartographer, raise him as an undead, still make him work, move on with life. But that's not a good idea.
No, I'm good.
No. Like, if that's suggested, the color will have like.
We actually want to be okay with this town.
I really wish I could zoom in on individual cameras right now, because the face that Jeff was making was absolutely priceless there.
But here's the thing. We don't need the cartographer now. Because, first of all, we know this is a dangerous mission. And if we're just trying to find the location and get into the mountain or some shit, there's a possibility they already have maps of the area.
Whoever set up shop there, yeah.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the people up there, but also like the town, I'm assuming, might have maps of the general area of the town. It might not go that far, but it's generally a good idea to be like, oh, here's a bear den or some shit. So
Yeah, and
my thought being is if they have a map of the local area, we could probably commission a copy of it. And then when we find where we're going, we can mark it on our map and then get like pay for a further survey after the fact.
I don't see the rush on making the map.
Yeah.
We're only going to send it to Barnabas if we can actually find the forge and if it's worth his trouble, right?
And if
So
we
until
don't
we
die.
know that, we don't need a map.
It sounds to me right now as a GM that we are 2 and 2. I want us to kind of begin to move along a little bit. Hey Renee, give us your thought about this. What do you think about this situation?
So I have an opinion that is somewhat fueled by enlightened self-interest. Specifically, bring the cartographer, but maybe hire some additional help, specifically a mercenary that I could potentially whip up on the fly to protect a cartographer.
Sorry, if we do hire a cartographer, we can hire a guard for the cartographer.
I mean, there
But
is
that's up
that.
to you. That is entirely up to you. I know that you. I want to make sure that you, as a DM, have enough bandwidth to deal with whatever may come from that.
I'm afraid at this point I don't have the stream capacity to stream with more than 4 players at the moment. This is the only stream, or this is the only scene I have that allows me to throw all 5 of you up there. This and the out of character one.
Fair enough.
But I do think that the idea of hiring a cartographer and a mercenary as a player, having someone to guard as well, it is a workable idea that I think would be just fine. I am open to whichever way you all go. It's totally up to you as always. As a quick time check, in about 10 or 12 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and have us take our break. So let's wrap up the conversation as far as what and whom we are bringing with us on our trip north. Em, you were just about to say something.
No, actually, I wasn't.
You weren't. Okay.
Did we want to talk to the mayor before we leave town?
Yes.
By the way, Renee, get into mayor's wife mode if you would be so kind in your mind and in your facial features. You don't have to switch costumes.
Miles can be a girlfriend.
I've got something for this.
Excellent.
Because I am a LARPer, and that is how I do.
Amazing.